service is provided in high definition. As up to speed as we can. Thank you, Bob, very much for that. I really enjoyed that segment tonight, probably as much as anything else I've heard. I did learn something new today that I didn't know, and I probably should have known it, but it came across as new to me. There are meetings happening in the White House at 11 a.m. and 11 p.m. every day. That is interesting to me because this is notice they're 12 hours apart. This is a way to monitor the progress of the process. See something that needs to be done, tweak the process. In other words, it's a way for them to keep up with everything that's going on globally in this process. And I'm encouraged by that because it tells us that they are on it basically 24/7. This is going to be the most amazing change in the way the financial system is working for us, primarily, I'm going to say, due to the quantum financial system, all the technology that's there, the satellites that went up to support it and are still there. I mean, guys, this is a huge change. Using technology to correct a lot of wrong things that have been in the system, that have been perpetrated by the cabal for as far back as we can remember. I have learned some new things about this whole plan, which I think is fascinating. And where we are is, I'm going to say, very, very close. Because we heard today from several sources that we were expecting it to go today for us, Tier 4B, the Internet group, but it wasn't to be. At least not yet. It's amazing because I was prepared to receive it today, but at the same time, we know that certain things have already happened. Certain things with the system have already moved forward. And no, unfortunately, the loss of Ruth Bader Ginsburg as Supreme Court Justice had nothing to do with the delay. It was not true. This is something that is moving forward with, and I'm going to tell you something that I believe is important. We know that we've got groups that are based out west. We all know about that. We also know that we are looking for a new gold-backed United States Treasury note, abbreviated to USN, United States Note, United States New, USN, which needs to surface. In other words, the gold-backed dollar needs to be acknowledged, at least throughout the financial system, as the new dollar before the groups that are based out west are paid. And here's the scenario. That is contractually put together with the leader of the groups that gold-backed USN, the new gold-backed currency for the United States, is in place. Now, we know all the transactions are really digital. We know that they can make a digital changeover from USD to USN, probably with a few keystrokes. I mean, I may be exaggerating, but I think it's something they obviously know how to do. But the transactions that will be taking place will affect the currency in USN. Now, when will the new currency that we are looking for be available? To us, they have already printed up sheets and sheets and sheets and sheets of $100 bills, $50 bills, and $20 bills. They've got those. They got them in spades. Those monies have already been delivered to the redemption centers on pallets. They're in the vaults, but they're also in the redemption center rooms, and they have been delivered beaucoup amount of the new currency. We have, and they have packaged the hundreds, the 50s, and the 20s like this. 50 $100 bills, that's what, $5,000? 50 100s, 50 $50 bills, that's $2,500, right? And 50 $20 bills, that's $1,000, right? So those are pre-packed in those amounts for us. Remember, we've heard that we can max out at $1,400 cash at the redemption center. Should we ask for some cash? Do we want some cash? Maybe. This is the new money. This is the new U.S. Treasury notes, USTN. They've got them pre-packed, let's just call them packed, in, like I said, 50 hundreds, 50 50s, and 50 20s. Boom, boom, boom. So you create, now, there's a lot of it. And it may be that we're not limited to just 14,000. We'll see. I don't know anybody that really needs to take much more than that or that much in cash money, because we're going to have credit cards and debit cards tied to our account if we choose. I personally don't want a debit card tied to any large account. I just don't want it that way for security purposes. However, those monies are there in a big way. That's a very good thing. Now, what about when that currency is going to be in the teller drawers at the banks? We believe the new currency, the USTN, will be in the teller drawers starting October 1st. Give or take, that is the day that we believe that John Q. Public Tier 5 will start, October 1st. Today's the 22nd. We better get moving, huh? Now, they may push that date back to the 5th of October, which is the full week, the first full week of Monday through, for the banks to operate and to take on Tier 5 public. That could be when it actually begins for the public, which means we may have more than the end of the month to go to at the redemption centers. We may not need it. You know, they want Zim in 4 or 5 days. Most of it, 85, 90, 95% of it they want in. And I think they can get it in that period of time. Certain areas, like Florida, has the largest number of Zim holders in the country. I think I told you 3,300 was the approximate number. That's a lot. Florida's going to be busy. we have a lot of listeners to the Big Call in Florida. And we really do. I remember the days when we would speak to the folks on the phone, and there were quite a few out of Florida, quite a few out of Texas, California. You get my drift. So, where is this? You did not go today. I've heard from 5 different sources today, and I'm not calling it. However, I'm hearing very good things about tomorrow. Wouldn't be right for me to try to call it. I'm just going to say I like what I'm hearing about tomorrow. Let's just say it that way. You know, when you get down and you're really pretty much at the end of the ride, you pull in that roller coaster, and it slowly comes up to a stop, and all of a sudden, automatically, that bar goes from where you're grabbing onto it to where it pulls back up so you can get out of the car. I believe the bar is just about ready to be raised. That's where I believe we are. We need that USN to be live and available before the groups move forward with being paid. With being paid. Now, could this happen tonight, late, or overnight? I believe it could. If that happens tonight late, we're already getting late, tonight late or overnight, I think we're lined up for success. I think we're almost home. Now, speaking of almost home, if you haven't put your projects, your presentations in the form you want them to be, until we get the numbers, Sue is still making herself available to help you. You need a PayPal account, $165 for a single person to do a one-on-one session with Sue, and for every person you add to you, whether it's one person, 2, or 3 that you add to yourself, you add $45 for each additional person. Thereby making, let's say, 4 people would be $300, and it'd be $75 a piece. When you divide 300 by 4. Okay? So in other words, as you add a person, the total cost goes up, but the cost per person goes down. Simple math. Sue has helped so many people so far, I've lost track. I know she's probably around 420 to 23 sessions, times X number of people per session, times X number of projects per person. She's just creating wonderful copy and project information for the people that are working with her. And GCK, behind the scenes, is also doing graphics, color graphics, beautiful work, and that's an additional charge, but it's well worth it. Everybody that is doing that is thrilled with the result the GCK is able to put together. So, I highly recommend, could be for the last time, I highly recommend you get on Sue's list now. She had to get off the phone to do a call now, right now. So, I'm suggesting that you get in touch with her through the email. Here it is, last time. INTegratedMinds@hushmail.com. INTEGRATED. Integrated Minds, MINDS, @hushmail.com. Send her a brief email. your phone number for your cell phone in the email, name or names of the people that you want to do a session with, okay, and watch your emails closely, because she'll communicate with you back pretty quickly, and she wants you to acknowledge that you've received the email that she sent, and then be able to put you on the list. Also, if you put the city and state where you live, that shows that she can determine what time zone you're in, if you're in the U.S. If you're outside the U.S., remember, no calls in Spanish or any other language than English. Solamente en inglés, por favor. Okay? Only English is being used for Sue's calls. Okay? Solamente inglés. Lo siento tanto, pero solamente inglés para los que hablan español. Okay? So you need to speak English, and then Sue can help you. All right. Now, I believe there's one other little thing. Remember a couple of few weeks ago when we seemed like you weren't getting change, or they didn't have change in the restaurants, or you know what I mean? They didn't have change, coinage at the stores very much, and you know, even if you go to the restaurant, they would just up you to the closest dollar and wouldn't even mess with the change, right? Well, there's a reason for that. I don't think I've told you guys this. What they've been doing is taking back our 50-cent pieces, quarters, dimes, and melting them down, pulling the silver out of it, and minting new coins with the proper amount of silver in them. I don't know about silver dollars. I don't know if those will be out or not, but they might. Silver dollars, for sure, half dollars, quarters, and dimes. Nickels are nickel, and that probably will continue to be made in nickel. Pennies, question mark. Don't know about pennies. Pennies may continue, they may not. I don't know. I'm not going to sweat pennies either way. But that's what has been happening with all that coinage, and why there's been such a shortage of it. Okay? And that's fine with me. Bring on the new coins. So we're looking somewhere between, I would say, October 1st and October 5th, somewhere in that time frame, for the new currency to come out. At some point, we believe we'll have a gold coin. Don't know what the denomination is going to be. Don't know what it's going to be worth exactly. I think it's going to be pretty valuable, though. So be prepared for that. Get with Sue. If you haven't, try to get with her, get the email. Let's see what happens. I do feel very, very good about what I've heard about, like I said, about tomorrow. So let's see. It's so hard. I want to call it, guys. I can't call it. It's just not possible. Look how many times I'd have been wrong calling it. Right? I feel good about this. I feel good. It's not absolute, but I think it's so proximate with all the other things that I've heard that are happening. I believe that it's very, very close. Let's just leave it that way. Very, very close. I want to thank everybody for listening in again tonight. I want to thank you for having the faith to continue to believe. And thank you for having the wherewithal to be in this type of situation for humanity, for projects, for Rebuild America, for the Veterans Retreat Network, for everything that you're doing on your own, whatever that is. It's great. We're going to make an incredible difference here. You know, we're not only 1,000 or 10,000, we're probably 1 million points of light around this globe, and probably more like 8 or 10 million points of light. So, what I want you to do is continue to pray the prayer that Sue had earlier, I want us to pray for this to come in. As I pray us out, I'll pray that. And I want us to pray believing. Pray believing. So that all of our faith cumulatively works together to bring this blessing home. I really believe that's important, and I believe we will all do that and see the result of our faith. So, thanks for listening again. Thank you, Sue. Thank you, Bob, GCK, anyone else behind the scenes. Thank you for listening. All of you listeners out there, thank you, people. I really appreciate you. It's been a wonderful ride, and I'm excited about our future.